Hello everybody and welcome back to the KOTLC Fanbase. In today's video, we're going to be going over an exclusive excerpt that Shannon Messenger has posted on her Instagram. And this is going to be from Unraveled, specifically, as we know, from Keith's point of view. So we're going to be going over that in today's video, and then I'm going to analyze that and break it down. And it is a pretty long excerpt. We definitely got a really good treat in today's video as we are waiting for the release of this next KOTLC book, which is coming so soon. Before we jump into this video, make sure to drop a like down below if you guys are excited for this new KOTLC excerpt. Also, comment down below any last minute theories you guys have for the next KOTLC book, as it's coming very soon. What is Keith going to get up to in this book? We're just going to have to find out, and I'd love to see what you guys are theorizing down below in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 21,000 subscribers, but let's get straight into the video. So here we are on Shannon's Instagram, and as you can see from the post on screen now, the title of this article is called Shannon Messenger's Keeper of the Lost Cities series shifts perspective. As you can see, this article will have the excerpt in it, and we'll go over that just after we go over this Instagram post. Let's first see what Shannon Messenger has to say. Want to read an exclusive excerpt from Unraveled? Then head over to Paste Magazine right now for a little dose of our favorite Lord Hunky Hair. There's a link in my bio, or you can go here, the website. Happy early Thanksgiving. As you can see, this is a little bit of a happy Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving present, I guess. But let's go ahead and jump to the article. Alright, so we're on Paste Magazine right now, and this article is by Lacey Bauer-Milas. Let's just get ahead and jump straight into the article. Middle grade fans everywhere are eagerly awaiting Unraveled, the latest installment in Shannon Messenger's popular Keeper of the Lost Cities series, which finally hits shelves next month. The New York Times and USA Today best-selling upper middle grade series has sold over 7 million copies and follows the story of Sophie Foster, a super intelligent 12-year-old who also happens to be a telepath, forced to leave behind everything and start a new life. When she learns she is not human, but from another world that exists side by side with ours, she must attend a magical school in the kingdom of Luminary. A story of adventure and magic with a little dash of romance ensues as Sophie learns more about her abilities in the strange world in which she now finds herself. The series' 9th installment, Starloon, was published in 2022, and its next arrives this December. Yes, just in time for the holidays. But it's technically categorized as book 9.5 because it's the series' first that doesn't follow Sophie's POV. Unraveled is told entirely from the perspective of Keith Sensen and follows adventures in the human world during the events of Starloon. Let me pause real quick. I did not realize that the last book was published in 2022. I guess it was the comic last year that was published, so technically we had a book, but not really. So yeah, this is a long time awaiting. Here's how the publisher describes the story. Please be careful, please be happy, and please forget all about me. It'll be better for everyone that way. Those were the last words Keith Sensen wrote to Sophie Foster before he ran away to the Forbidden Cities. He didn't want to leave, but it was the only way to keep his friends safe while he figured out how to control his scary new powers and search for answers about his past. What he found was so much more than adventures in human land. Where did he go? What did he do? And who did he meet while the rest of his friends worked to solve the mystery of Starloon? The answers go far beyond anything anyone could have ever imagined, and give Keith the powers to change his destiny. So I guess that was the publisher and what they said described the new book. Unraveled will hit the shelves on December 3rd, but we've got a first look at the story for you right now. Okay, so I guess we're jumping straight into the story. I guess I'm gonna start reading and let's get into it. I'm never leaping again, he mumbled into the scratchy bark. That's it, I live here now. He was only half joking, and he snuggled the tree for longer than he was proud of before he stepped back and surveyed his surroundings. Snow-capped mountains in the distance, early glints of sunset streaking the sky. It was stark and beautiful, but he could also feel the temperature dropping, so it's going to be a very long, very cold, very lonely night. Or maybe not lonely enough. The ground was dotted with animal tracks, and they did not look like tiny cuddly creatures. Keith crossed his arms, trying to save whatever body heat he could as he searched for some sort of shelter. Best he could find was a tree covered with a few less icicles than the others. If he levitated to the taller branches, he could camp out there and hope nothing climbed up to get him. But he'd have to make sure he didn't move in his sleep, otherwise he'd go splat. At least he didn't have to worry about anyone finding him now. He tried to think of any other trackers he might have missed, but he was pretty sure he had it covered. He hadn't worn a nexus in years. Dex has never given him one of those panic switch rings he made for everyone else, which Keith had always meant to call him out on. And Monroe had agreed to keep her freaky ogre bacteria off his skin. So unless Grady had a way of homing in on his signal for his imparter, which seems unlikely, he should be totally untraceable. Well, Foster could still go all super telepath on him and transmit a bunch of messages into his brain, but she wouldn't be able to tell where he was, unless she poked around his recent memories and found enough clues to guess his location. She didn't usually break the rules of telepathy like that, but she might tell herself she was doing it to protect him. Keith signed and closed his eyes, imagining a giant stone wall around his mind. mind. He poured every last drop of his mental energy into making a barrier as thick and impenetrable as possible, but he knew he wouldn't be able to block her. No one could. He'd have to ignore her, which made his chest tighten and his heart turn heavy and cold. Telepathic chats with Foster were one of his absolute favorite things in the entire world. Every time her voice filled his head, he couldn't help smiling, even when she was reaching out to yell at him. But nothing good would come from talking to her right now. She wouldn't be able to convince him to come back, and he'd already said everything he could say in his note. In fact, he honestly couldn't believe some of the things he told her. His cheeks heated up as he pictured his hastily scribbled confession. "You mean a lot to me, Foster, more than you'll ever know." Part of him still didn't know why he'd felt the need to add those words. He just couldn't leave without finally telling her the truth, after keeping it in for so many years. And yes, this was Foster, so it's possible she convinced herself he only meant it as a friend. She had a gift for taking oblivious to adorable new levels, but Keith was pretty sure she'd known exactly what he was trying to say. He just had no idea how she'd react. Maybe she'd blush, maybe she'd cringe, maybe she'd laugh so hard she'd pee through her leggings, or maybe she'd crumple the paper and throw it away, hoping he'd stayed in human land and they'd never have to deal with the mountain of awkward he heaped on their friendship. Or maybe she'd run straight to Fitz and telling him everything, and Fitzy would get jealous and finally realize what a fool he'd been for letting her go. Then he'd beg for forgiveness, and after lots and lots of groveling, Foster would tell him he'd always been the one who made her heart go pitter-patter. And Fitzy would tuck her hair behind her ears, and she'd bite her lip as he leaned toward her, and Keith didn't try to hide a shudder. No one was around to call him out on his jealousy or shame for sitting back and letting Fitzby happen, as if he was supposed to shove his way between them and screaming, "No, pick me!" Sophie deserved better than that. She could get to choose whoever she wanted, without anyone fighting for her like she was the latest prize in the Ultimate Splotching Championship, and she wanted Fitz. Keith knew that for a fact. That was the brutal little perk that came with being an empath. He understood Foster's feeling even better than she did. Then again, the last few times he'd been around her, emotions about Fitzy had been different. A little hurt, a little sad, definitely disappointed, even a little angry. Almost like her crush was starting to fade. But there had still been plenty of mushy stuff underneath all that, so Keith was pretty sure it was only a matter of time before Fitzy found a way to fix things. A few of those sappy gifts he'd gotten so good at giving, an abundance of apologies, and Fitzy would be back with a vengeance. Keith's hands curled into fists at the thought, which was ridiculous. This whole thought process was ridiculous. How much time had he just wasted obsessing about his silly, unrequited crush? A whole lot longer than he spent trying to figure out how to get through the night without ending up a Keith snack for a hungry beast. And definitely longer than he'd been able to hang with humans before trying to unleash his mind control. That's what he needs to be focusing on, solving those problems, not this pathetic angst. Unraveled will be released on Tuesday, December 3rd, but you can pre-order right now. Wow, so that's a lot of actual information that we actually got to see, which is really cool. I guess the first big point is he's in snow-capped mountains. Maybe he's already closer towards London, so maybe he's in Europe somewhere. I'm not a big geography person, but that's a huge clue to maybe where he is in the first start of the book, because obviously this is right after him leaping to the human world. And then the second main part was just about him like talking about Sophie and how his thoughts come into play, like how he thinks that Sophie likes Fitz, and how, I guess, yeah, that's probably like why he hasn't been so bold to Sophie, because he thinks that she likes Fitz. The empath ability was cool to see how he thinks about things and how he actually kind of knows that Sophie has these sort of feelings towards Fitz. I was expecting him to like find the fox maybe in this excerpt, because like he's in like kind of like a forest, so maybe he finds the fox maybe shortly after this scene. But yeah, this is really cool just to see him to Keith's perspective. Obviously we've seen it a little bit before, but a whole book is gonna be super exciting, and this excerpt definitely has got me excited about this next book. If you guys are excited, make sure to drop a like down below. Also make sure to comment down below any theories from this kind of excerpt that we see. Do we know his location? Do we know what he's gonna do first? What is he gonna do next? Is he gonna find the fox? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this excerpt and any theories you have. Also make sure to subscribe down below to our channel. We're on the way to 21,000 subscribers, so each one of you guys, if you could check down below if you're subscribed, it would definitely help us out a lot. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.